Today we're working on a rescore by the name of Coin Operated. It's a cute little short film about a boy who has aspirations to get on a rocket ship and go to the moon. It's cute. It's got a weird part, but we'll tackle that later. First thing I'm going to do is just play the movie with no sound, and I'm going to give you my impressions. Then we'll play the film again with my music in place. And then last, we'll go through it play by play, and I'll explain to you why I made the musical decisions and the emotional changes to best serve the film. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? Sorry about that. False start. Let me kill this. Okay. Okay, so we open on a very stylized spaceship. It doesn't look like it's in space, though. You know, it's flying amongst the clouds, and then we fade to the spaceship being a toy, right, in the little boy's hand, and he's just having fun. He's playing imagination. He's got the little made rocket pack and his little space patch. You can tell what this little guy's into. And then something gets his attention. Oh my goodness. See the camera zoom in on this, a glossy picture of this rocket ship. Look at him getting excited. Today he thinks his dreams are going to come true. You know why? Because he's a kid. Coin operated little ride. You remember those? I do. Mom tries to, rush him off. And he's like, no, please, please, wait. I've got a quarter. See how excited he is. This was a really fun one to do. It's got a lot of different little emotions. Mom gives him a salute. He pushes the button. He's ready to go to the moon. You see it right there in his sights. I love this effect right here where it zooms in on him. It looks like he's fixing to take off. And then it's got this section where he's disillusioned. I don't play any music in this part. I was actually able to save some of the original sound effects because there's no music in this part. And I do fade it in when I can. Then the disillusion sets in, and he's sad because he wanted to go to the moon. He really thought that was possible, but he's got another idea brewing. You can see it in his face when he. There it is. He's got the same mission. What he's going to do is build a lemonade stand and get more quarters. I'm rushing to the end. What he thinks is it just needs more money to get to the moon. He hasn't quite put enough quarters in. Now, this is part of the film that I think is actually kind of weird. I don't know if the creator, the director, really thought this through. So he's aging, right? I mean, we're doing a time lapse where he's getting older and he's still selling lemonade. And you see the space patch on him. He still has the same goal. And now he's an old man. He's an old man with a big old sack of cash. And he never realized that you can't get to the moon in a coin operated spaceship. He's like tired. He's wasted his life. So this part is just weird, but fine, whatever. There's the old ride. It's it's not rusted, but the colors are all faded. Same plan, one goal his whole life. All right, sure. Let's just decide to believe in magic. And here's the big moment. He's finally gonna go to the moon. Got that same spaceship helmet from when he was a kid. Push the button, and nothing happens. Not even like the ride, where it just kind of rocks you back and forth. And then he's just destroyed. Truly destroyed. But then, these last two quarters, by knocking it, that was the price tag. He reached it. Apparently, his agent's like, okay, you have enough credits. We can go to the moon now. But there is a neat little section here when it takes off. For a brief frame, you can see he's a little boy again, and that's kind of cool. So it saves it in the end. But weird. But this was still really fun to work on. So let's see. I'm going to mute these tracks here. Okay, so now we are just going to listen to the rescore, and you can see what I did. Here we go. Okay, so that is my rescore. Pretty cute little film. Okay, let's switch to the DAW and let's go through this. So a lot of neat tricks going on in this film, this short film. I use a combination of tritones along with chromatic medians to create the kind of cinematic sci-fi sound. We revisit that a few times. I use what I call needle drops. And I use what's called Mickey Mousing, and this is where the music kind of substitutes for a sound effect. It's got a silly effect. It's when the music is really tightly timed with what's happening on the screen. A lot of people think Mickey Mousing is it's beneath them. They look down on it. I don't feel that way. I like it. I think it's fun, especially in animation. You can't overdo it, but a little bit here and there is fun. So I use, again, some cinematic tricks, a needle drop. I'll explain what that is, and some Mickey Mousing, along with a couple other emotional shifts. Let's get started here. So this big opening is where we first introduce the an effect that repeats. Let's see here. So the very first two chords are an A flat major, followed by its let's see, A flat major, and then I've got I guess that's a B major. Yeah, okay. No, it's E. E. I'm an idiot. Okay. So this is a tritone, and it has a very particular sound. This tritone chord relation, it can be used in fantasy and sci-fi. It's got a very particular sound, and that's what I've kind of anchored this with. So let's get this started. So I really wanted a big, bombastic intro because this is really fun stuff. One more time. I mean, we're going to 11 immediately. So the big intro, lots of brass, cinematic tritones and chromatic medians, and there's a little bit of a diatonic feel in there. Big crashing cymbals. This feels sci-fi. It feels like a celebration, matching with all the colors. I mean, this is a big happy moment, right? So that's why I went with that. I wanted to start big. And then when we realize, like, this is just a child, this isn't a real spaceship, this is a child's imagination, I switched to a needle drop. So what is a needle drop? So when you watch a movie, sometimes there's a popular song in it, some song from an artist you like. The investors had enough money to pay them to put their song in the movie. And when they put the song in the movie, the reference needle drop is like a record. Records, vinyls used to have needles. You drop the needle and the song plays. That's basically what they're doing. They're just kind of injecting a popular song into their movie. The interesting thing about a needle drop, and you can verify this when you listen to whatever you listen to, whatever music you listen to, songs. No matter what the genre is, I don't care if it's country, rock and roll, hip hop, pop, singer, songwriter, alternative, whatever it is, songs typically only have one emotion. Cinematic music moves all over the place. There's highs and lows. It's sad. It's happy. It's scary. You're falling in love. It's all over the place, and it moves on a dime. But a needle drop, a popular song, just chugs along. It does not care what's on the scene, right? It doesn't care what's happening in the movie. And you have to be very strategic where you place it, because it might not match up with what's going on. Okay, so this little song I wrote is not a popular song, right? It's not something I lifted. It is something that I wrote, but it's still effectively a needle drop because it has one emotion. It sets the mood, it sets the vibe, and it chugs along. There's a couple needle drops in this. Okay, so backing up, I went with what do you call it? Kind of a swing feel, and I wanted it to sound innocent, because this is a little boy and he's playing, and I really think this matches. Put in a little record scratch there. I don't do that often, but I thought this was a fun transition to just cut the music off and switch. Transitions are everything. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll hear me harp on this. They glue everything together. Without a good transition, your stuff's going to sound clunky. So I do a little bit of Mickey Mousing, and then I enter in, and then I reintroduce the tritone feel that we started the short film with, the introduction. We'll hear that actually a few times. So this little bit of music, this is supposed to give you the idea that something's caught his interest. And then the timpani roll right there, when it zooms in, it's just perfectly timed. Like the impact is what I'm really trying to get the audience to know. Like, this is a big deal for this kid. And then the understated woo, the little chimes. It's very magical. And then I time these last two chords in the swell and the rise to his smile and him getting excited. Timing in film, telling the story is, it's what we're here to do. So you have to write music that matches every little detail. And we break here for the little title sequence there. Fun. Okay. So, ba-dum, ba-dum, a nice little closing ending, and so mother tries to rush him off, and I put in just a sad little, it's really effective, just a sad little solo clarinet. It's really amazing how just a couple notes from the clarinet in the right register can sound sad. But I've got a playful little marimba to kind of balance it. The bum bum bum. That's the marimba there. I'm really doing a lot of Mickey Mousing here. You hear the flute run into the staccato from the trumpets when his eyes widen. Look closely how much I Mickey Mouse this. Every little thing that he does is Mickey Moused. His eyes. Right. So he's like, "Wait, I have a quarter." Da da da. He remembers, and it's just kind of sticking with the space flight sci-fi thing. Da 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 da. It's a little bit of a celebration. Running over to it. Even his little feet kicking. So that bit of Mickey Mousing there, it just works really, really well. I don't say this about all my stuff, but sometimes you just really knock it out of the park. So this little part, do 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 do, this comes back later. So remember when he's an old man. A distant solo trumpet plays. It's the same melody and it's got the same percussion, but it's slowed down and a bit more serious. I'll talk about that more later. Mom salutes him, right? It feels pre, space flight. Childlike way. All right, so we're coming back to those same tricks in this section. The tritone chord relation, it sounds very sci-fi futuristic, mixed with chromatic mediants, which also in combination, it's just a winner for this style. Their go-tos for cinematic music. So let me play this through. What I'm trying to do with this big arrangement here. So I'm trying to subvert the audience's expectations. Okay, so if you're an adult watching this, or even a savvy child, you know a coin-operated spaceship is not going to go to the moon. But the kid thinks it does, and I'm writing this from his point of view. This is about to happen in his mind, right? And I want the audience to think that too. So when it doesn't, their expectations are subverted, and the disappointment is very real. Okay, so I'm going to play this again, and I want you to take note of how many little ideas are in here. The emotions are changing, like boom, 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 boom. And I'm not doing it with like chord progressions or anything like that. I'm doing it with sparse little, not sparse, I'm sorry, separate little ideas that all kind of seem to flutter together. Here we go. So the original composer didn't write any music here, and honestly, that's a good call. That's what I would do. So since there was no music, I was able to save some of the song and put it back in there, which I'm grateful for because it really helps sell this music and the squeaking of the even the sad little woo 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 woo. It's really well done. It's funny. We revisit the sad clarinet here. That right there, just that little do 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 do. For me, when he timed with him, gazing at the moon, this was it's hopeful and sad at the same time. Like that's his destination, way out there. It's just a couple piano notes paired with a sad clarinet, but it's very effective. It's a distant dream, but he's holding on to it. So original piece that I wrote. It just sets the mood. So this is a montage. It's a perfect time, you know, it's perfect time for a needle drop. It's a bunch of quick cuts, him, you know, making the lemonade, it's, you know, building the stand and selling to business. Also, it's got that same kind of swing feel in the percussion, and it feels innocent, which I think is really, really appropriate. Also, this is mostly diatonic, like the first needle drop, but diatonic is boring to me. Diatonic means you keep everything perfectly in key. I like to, at least when I'm writing a mostly diatonic piece, I like to throw in a borrowed chord, you know, just to keep it interesting. I think I got one in there somewhere. So this is, you know, it's hopeful and it's fun. You know, he's not defeated. He's got a plan. And we do a shift here in the time lapse. So I have to admit something here. The original composer did something similar to what I'm doing here. It's not the same notes, but it is kind of the same emotion. I try not to watch the original film or listen to the original music just for this reason, because it influences me. And I can't see it any other way. You know, sometimes I can you know, break free from that, but the original composer, I think he made a great choice here, doing this kind of sad, that his life is slipping away from him in this time lapse here. We both approached it different ways, but it's the same emotion, and you know, a good call is a good call. Just a string section, and you got like a busy piano. I think this is in 7/8. I don't write in 7/8 a whole lot, but I thought, why not? I think the 7/8 in the piano here, it's kind of harder to tie down where the 1 is, and with a really busy piano, it makes it seem kind of I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, not dreamy, but you know, it's hard to tie down exactly what this emotion is. I don't have a word for it. Going on, but it's very subdued and quiet. So I'm pretty sure this section is Lydian. I use Lydian a lot. It's a very useful tool. It can sound magical. It can sound hopeful. Let's see. It looks like we've got F-A. Yeah, it looks like we're doing a B flat major and a C major back and forth. So this would be B flat Lydian. B flat Lydian is harmonically the same key as F major. This is the 4, and this is the 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. And that's how you get that Lydian sound. Or it's one of the ways. It's one of my go-tos for hopeful. Back to A flat, and then see, and then very cool. So this section here, where was this? I think it's in the Celeste and in the vibraphone. We've heard this before. So the first time we hear this is when he's a little boy and he first sets eyes on the toy spaceship, and he has this sense of awe. Where was it? Is this it? No. Is this it? No. I think it's here. Right, so it's moving a little faster and it's got a bigger presentation, especially towards the end. But here's the magic, right? Right, and now he's a tired old man, and he's first setting eyes on it. The spaceship, it's tired. Look at it. It's not rusty, but the paint's faded and some of it's scraped off. You can visibly see when he gets in it, like the crud, like the paint's all chipped, like it's old and tired, but he still has that same boy-like wonder. And even though this is a really simple little musical idea, it's actually very important. So let's do it one more time here. So we start with Lydian again to work in the hopeful, and the clarinet here isn't sad, but it is tired. There is something sad about him wasting his life, but Lydian lifts it to a hopeful place, and here it is. The exact same thing. And we go back into the Lydian, lifting up the dynamics, swelling in some instruments to pick up the hopeful. I really like that choice there that I made. So the little tube bell, it feels like he means business, right? When that bell rings, it's go time, and then he drops that bag. Let's check it out one more time. It's go time. Okay, so this section here you have heard before. So when he first gets in the spaceship as a little boy and his mother salutes him, the exact same thing plays, except it's fast and it's excited. Again, he's tired but he still wants to go to space. Now I need to confess something. This basic idea, not the notes, but the basic idea I got from James Horner, who composed Apollo 13. So I think it's in the beginning of Apollo 13. If you've ever seen that movie, it's a Ron Howard movie with Tom Hanks and the guy who plays Lieutenant Dan. And I think you see an Apollo rocket taking off in like slow motion. You don't hear any of the the fire or the explosion or anything, but you do hear this distant trumpet that sounds almost military, but like military in an honoring, heroic kind of way. And of course there's the military snare, right? I thought that this would fit perfectly because he's about to go to space, right? It has a kind of a heroic traveler feel, you know? So just like the first time, except it was big the first time, right? We had, you know, all the instruments going. The brass was bombastic. We were subverting expectations. We're doing it again, but in a much more subdued way. You're seeing the pattern here, right? It does the exact same thing. It feels do 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 do, and then da 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 da, like he's about to go to the moon. But it subverts your expectations one last time. And nothing, right? Same thing that happened the first time. I've got this this high string playing here, just a little sustained note. Able to save some of those sound effects because there's no music playing. And here we go, the build. It's happening. Pause here. So the da-da-da-da-da-da, let's see, where did I have that? I think that's in here. So we start with, it's that same trick. It's the tritone chord relation. We start with A flat major, and we go to D major. Is it D major? D major the... Yeah, I think I said E earlier. E would not be the chromatic median. E would be a chromatic median, not a tritone. This is tritone. So there are chords playing along with this note, but I build to it. So we're doing A flat major to D major, and then we just kind of oscillate there. And this is a pretty neat trick. So this is just D major, right? I play D major, and then in the next inversion, and then the next inversion, and then the next inversion. I'm just like raising the note each time. So I'm playing the same chord, but it has this lifting feel. And then arpeggio. So this is a cute little film. I had a lot of fun working on it. It was actually quite challenging to come up with you know, all the ideas and to mix it, you know, to make it all cohesive story. But I think it really worked out well. If you guys have any questions specifically, if there's a section you want me to break down and really get into the music theory, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to do that. It's, you know, real nerdy music theory stuff. But if you're serious about, you know, improving your chops and becoming a better composer, I'd be happy to help you out. If you want to just learn how to do the needle drop, or you want to learn how to do some of the sci-fi stuff or some of this Mickey Mousing, let me know and I'll help you figure it out. I'll show you exactly what I have, break it all down, and help you put that tool in your composer tool bag. Well, thanks for checking out my rescore breakdown. We'll see you guys for the next one.